CIT 1123 Packet Tracer Instructional Video 518. In this video, we're going to go through configuring numbered standard ACLs for a small network. You can see it over on the right-hand side. We've got 3 routers. We've got a connection out to a web server and a couple of the routers that we can do business with here. Everything is connected and configured, and we have full convergence to EIGRP, so everything's working the way it's supposed to. Don't worry about EIGRP because it's not going to be a factor. And I know you guys didn't learn that in the current version of CCNA. Just know that a routing protocol is running and everything is working the way it's supposed to. Now, let's go ahead and where it says plan an ACL implementation, we're going to investigate the current network configuration, which is just kind of took a look at. We said everything's working the way it's supposed to, and then we want to implement the following policies. So for router 2, one of the things we want to do is we want the 192.168.11.0 network. 192.168.11.0, that's over here, switch to PC2. Should not be allowed to access the web server over here on the 20.0 network. Okay, and then we should allow all the other traffic. So we want pings to the web server from PC1 to work and PC3 to work, but we don't want anything to work for PC2. Just for fun, let's see if it works now. And we'll go and check with a ping to 192.168.20.254, and hopefully this will be functioning, and then we'll see that it actually is working right now. Okay, so it is working, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up that access control list. So that's the first thing that they get there, and then the second part is the following network policies should be implemented on R3. It says are implemented on R3. Neither one of these things are done yet, so the tense is off a little bit in the lab, but don't let that throw you off too much. The 192.168.10.0 network should not be allowed to communicate with the 192.168.30 network, which is way over here. So sourced from here, ends over here. We're going to put that on router 3 because when we build these standard ACLs, we want to put them as close to the destination as possible because we don't want to filter traffic that maybe is in transit someplace else, might get filtered out inadvertently. So when we do standard access lists, we put the access list as close to the destination as possible because we are filtering only based on source. Okay, so that's the 2 access lists that they want us to put together, and that's fine. Now let's go ahead and look at part 2, and it says configure, apply, and verify the standard ACL. Configure and apply a numbered standard access control list on router 2. That's the first one we're going to set up. And this one's going to deny this 11.0 network. And you can see the first command we're going to put in here is right here. It's just access list 1 deny source 192.168.11.0 /24 is the wildcard mask. And then the second statement we're going to put in is a permit any. Permit any will say, okay, if it comes from if it's sourced from any place else, let's just go ahead and let it through. And let's see how that goes. So router 2, and let's go ahead and put that in there. And fig T and access list 1 deny. First line is done. So the 11.0 network is identified as a deny, and then we'll do access list 1 permit any, and that will set up, first of all, in front of our implicit deny, which is at the end of the statement, and we'll let everything else through. Okay, cool. Now, will this change, at this point, will this change the pingability from PC2 to web server? Let's give it another try. Head back to it. It was working. Let's give it another shot. We created an access list. Let's see what happens. And it's still working. Okay, so we created the access list, but nothing has changed from a functionality standpoint. Devices on the 11 network are still able to ping web server. So what we have to do is we have to apply the access control list to an interface for it to start working. Just building it isn't enough. So the place that we're going to put this is on interface G0/0, which is the very last interface. It's the exit interface in router 2. That's going to say, okay, if it's leaving the router, it's going out of this interface, we'll filter it, and if it's sourced from the source IP address, it's 192.168.11 at something, we block it. All right, cool. So int g 0/0 Yeah, that's it. G0/0, and then IP access group 1 out. Now we've applied the access control list. So it is now applied. If we try it again, ping, it's going to up arrow. Same deal, back to web server. Now it fails. Now it fails. The access list has been posted. Fantastic. Okay, we're halfway done. Let's go ahead and close router 2 because we're going to go to router 3 next. All right, step 2, configure and apply numbered standard ACL on R3. No problem. So for R3, what we want to do is we want to deny traffic from the 10 network from getting to the 30 network, I believe is where we were at there. Yeah, we want to deny that. So we're going to start with R3. And you could do this backwards, right? We could say, well, the source is 30 and we'll put it on R1. But in this case, we're going to say the source is 10. So we're going to put it on R3. So en, and we'll do config t. And we're going to go access list 1 deny 192.168.10.0 0.0.0.255. Good. And we'll do a permit. So our permit statement is access list 1 permit any, and we're good to go. And that access list is completed. If we want to take a look at it, and do show access dash list. And there's our access list 1 is posted. Fantastic. All right, let's put this on an interface. We're going to put it on G0/0 right here, this interface here on the outbound. Filter it out. Starts with the source. The source IP address is from the 10 network. Filter it out right here. Anybody else we let through. Okay. So that's going to be int G0/0 and IP access group 1 out, enter, and this pings should fail. So if we just checked or tried, we would see that that ping would fail from PC1 over to PC3. If we go back to our little table up here, PC1 to PC3, PC3 is 30.10. So if we go to ping, that is coming back as destination unreachable because the traffic's getting filtered out. Fantastic. Okay, that's all I have for you in this particular lab. I will see you in the next one.